According to John Quincy Adams, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. And on that note, I welcome you to Know Your Representative, the program that bridges the visible gap between lawmakers and their constituents. I am Mariah Olashende, but first, let's meet my guest, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Distinguished Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I wish to state
Bamidele was born on July the 29th, 1963 at Unyi Ekiti, a town in Ekiti State. He attended Obafemi Awolowo University where he obtained a bachelor's degree in religious studies. In his pursuit for more knowledge, Bamidele later attended the University of Benin where he received a bachelor's degree in law in 1990. Having graduated from the Nigerian Law School, he was called to the bar in 1992. Bamidele proceeded to Franklin Pierce University, where he received a master's degree in law and was called to the New York bar in January 1999. Bamidele was appointed in July 2000 as a senior special assistant to the governor of Lagos State on political and intergovernmental relations. He also doubled in this capacity as the national director of publicity of the Alliance for Democracy AD between November 2000 and June 2003. He was member House of Representatives and was the former chairman House Committee on Legislative Budget and Research, and formerly the chairman ad hoc committee on Media and Public Affairs in the 7th House of Representatives from 2011 to 2015. A learned counsel of no mean stature, Bamidele is an active member of the New York and Nigerian Bar, a member of the American Bar Association, and a member of the International Bar Association. Distinguished Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele is the chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters in the 9th National Assembly, and it belongs to the following committees at the Red Chambers: Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Communication, Downstream Petroleum Sector, NDDC, INEC, Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, Navy, Finance, as well as the Committee on Interparliamentary Affairs. On Wednesday, March the 24th, 2021, Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele was unanimously elected by esteemed distinguished colleagues as the chairman of the Southern Senators Forum of the 9th Senate. Michael Opeyemi Bamidele is a very reliable team player, a consummate politician, and a seasoned administrator. MARBAYS is convinced that no man owns himself to himself alone, but partly to his family, partly to his community, and largely to the society. Opeyemi Bamidele is a proud member of the All Progressives Congress and is happily married to the wife of his youth, Mrs. Opeyemi Bamidele, and they are blessed with beautiful and godly children. Popularly called MOB, he has stood out as one of the very volatile, productive and visionary legislators in the National Assembly. MOB is always passionate about the development of not only his senatorial district, but Ekiti State in general. A man of his people who believes in capacity development for his constituents. Let's run you through his half-term scorecard as a first-term senator representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District in the 9th Senate. Entrepreneurship development training, women vocation training, fishery and feed production, capacity building and training for youth, capacity building and training for women, capacity building and training for the physically challenged. In a 2-day life support training scheme and presentation of over 100 wheelchairs across a senatorial district to improve their standard of living, Senator Bamidele not only gave wheelchairs to the physically challenged, he ensured they are trained to be self-reliant with cash startups to own their personal businesses.
Mo ti gain àwọn kan púpọ̀ ńbẹ̀. Ọlọ́run kó dẹ̀ bá wa dá Opeyemi Bamidele sí fún wa. Àtàwọn àtìdílé wọn kan má rí wàhálà. ìṣòro tá dé bá wọn táwọn náà dé ní wheelchair Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó dé bá wọn.
wheelchair tán fún mi ó tún jẹ́ ìrànwọ́ fún mi àti fún iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe because tí máa ní tí máa fẹ́ lọ ra materials tẹ́lẹ̀ kí n tó lọ bẹ̀ kí n tó ṣe ìgbà mi mo lè lọ gbọ́kadà inú owó iṣẹ́ tí mo gbà gan-an màá tún ti fi gbọ́kadà tó jẹ́ pé kò ní sí gain kò sí nǹkan kan bẹ̀ but nígbà tó tún wá ṣe ìrànwọ́ fún mi tó tún fún mi ní kẹ̀kẹ́ báyẹn á lè jẹ́ kó easy fún mi láti máa lọ láti máa bọ̀.
MOB mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn ọwọ́ wọn á máa ròkè fún ìfẹ́ tí wọ́n ní sí àwọn àkàndé èèyàn bí wọ́n tiẹ̀ kà wá yẹ wọ́n kà wá kún ara wọn wọn ò fi wá sílẹ̀ so lágbára Ọlọ́run ọwọ́ wọn á máa ròkè ibi gíga tí wọ́n wà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ tún ń lépa Ọlọ́run á mú wọn débẹ̀.
I sincerely appreciate the senators and I'm using this opportunity to advise all the important dignitaries in our society to emulate these good ways so that the service for the person with disability and the welfareism of person with disability in Nigeria can be properly taken care of.
láti ìgbà tí mo ti mọ Opeyemi Bamidele wọ́n jẹ́ èèyàn rere tán ka àwọn disabled sí kò sí ìgbàkígbà tán bá wà ní position tán kì í rántí àwọn disabled mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn.
ojúmọ́ mi sí pèrè òde Opeyemi tún ti kórede o. The promise kì í balẹ̀ kìtì akọ́ṣẹ́lì ṣe. aṣojú tí ò kọ́ mọ̀ olú ọmọ olú yẹn kìtì. promise keeper máa gbọ́. original ọmọ Èkìtì máa gbọ́. MOB máa gbọ́. Mètì sí mi gbóhùn ẹ̀rùn mi jẹ́ o. Mètì sí mi mọ̀mọ́ ṣe ràn lọ ọmọlé ọ̀la o. Àyè gbèdọ́jà èkúta o. Opeyemi ulé ọ̀nìlẹ̀ ṣọ́mọ̀ ti yẹ ni. Opeyemi dára nílé ó dára lóde ilé o. Ó dára káàkiri gbogbo àgbáláyé o. Òyìnbó ní charity begins at home. Ilé láti mí ká ẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde. Opeyemi mọ̀ dára ò lè kìtì o. Olúlé ìṣọpẹ́, àlejò ìṣọpẹ́, èmi ti ka ìṣọpẹ́ òní o.
Of recent, you will see him sponsoring a bill about in university, medical sciences university. That one to show somebody who is thinking ahead, who care about his constituents, for him to know that there is a need for his own constituency to be recognized for that university. That university, the mileage it will cover, not only for our constituent, even for Southwest. For Southwest will be enormous because it's going to be a research institute that everybody will want to gravitate to see what they can do. Opeyemi ọba alálẹ̀ òyìn adúró tí torí n kì í ṣe alálẹ̀ òyìn èyí mọ́ta adúró tí n kò bá ti bọ́kàn rẹ̀ dàníyàn Ọlọ́run náà àgbàkó adẹ̀ṣe é ṣe kó oríra náà adẹ̀gbé torí ẹ ṣe bẹ́bẹ́.
Ekiti Central Senatorial District is made up of 5 local governments, namely Ekiti West, Efon, Ijero, Irepodun, Ifelodun, and Ado Ekiti. Water, they say, is life. Safe and readily available water is important for public health, whether it is used for drinking, domestic use, food production, or recreational purposes. Improved water supply and sanitation and better management of water resources can boost countries' economic growth and can contribute greatly to poverty reduction.
Oríire Opeyemi ọmọ Bamidele òtítọ́ làwọ̀ sọ a kì í torí gbígbó kápájá òtítọ́ làwọ̀ sọ a kì í torí kíkàn kápágbó òtítọ́ làwọ̀ sọ. Odidi ọmọ nìyẹn sí àlóore dáadáa. Kànga yọ̀rin á dẹ̀ máa kan mi ipò ayọ̀kan mi lọ ni wọ́n ti adé bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ti fi ń dán àwò bẹ́ẹ̀ ó bá ti yé gúnrin bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ti yọrẹ̀ ti aná lágbára Ọlọ́run wọ́n ní fọmọ ṣe tí àwọn ló yẹ kán máa pè ní kúyẹ̀ Opeyemi ọmọ Bamidele ni àwọn ní kúyẹ̀ torí ọmọ ìlérí Ọlọ́run ni wọ́n. À ń pọ́n, à ń mu, à ń wẹ̀, à ṣe bó ṣe wù wá. Ọlọ́run wọ láyé àti bàbá tán tara rẹ̀ jáde hàn ní ṣe kó ń ṣe lágbára Ọlọ́run.
Ilé àti ọ̀nà rẹ̀ kò ní bàjẹ́ bó ṣe ń fẹ́ kí ìlú kó lọ síwájú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run ó ṣe jẹ́ kí tiẹ̀ kó lọ síwájú.
Nǹkan pàtàkì náà ṣe ò torí ní gbogbo àdúgbò wa yìí omi yìí ó dàbí ìgbà tí èèyàn bá wà nínú ìṣòro tí wọ́n wá gbé olúwa ẹ̀ kúrò nínú ìṣòro nítorí inú igbó láti lọ máa ń pọnmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà dẹ̀ ní ejò máa ń bu àwọn ọmọ wa ṣọ́lọ̀nà igbó yẹn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n á máa pè wọ́n lọ pé ẹ lọ bá bàbá kan o ẹ lọ bá ìyá kan o kọ́ fún wọn ní àpòrò o ṣe ń gbọ́ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ni oríṣiríṣi àwọn nǹkan míì igi á dá sójú ọ̀nà tá a máa wá àwọn èèyàn tán lè bá wa gé ṣùgbọ́n láti ìgbà tó mi ti dé owó wa ti tú ní gbogbo àdúgbò yìí gbogbo ìlú yìí ló dẹ̀ wá ń pọn mi níbi tó wà yìí.
èèyàn pàtàkì ni o ṣe rí olóṣèlú tó bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń fi iṣẹ́ olóṣèlú gidi ni o nígbà tí ò tí ì dé ipò Honorable Opeyemi Bamidele ó ń ṣe takuntakun ní gbogbo Èkìtì state gbogbo àdúrà táwọn ọmọdé gbà lórí ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run á jẹ́ orí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ tún wo ń sin o tún ṣe omi fún wa ní àdúgbò wa lókè Ṣẹ́gun ẹ wo gbogbo takuntakun tó ṣe lẹ́kìtì láìpẹ́ yìí bó ṣe fún wa ní kan ọdún tá gbogbo láti tá à ń jẹ yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ Opeyemi Bamidele o lógo Ọlọ́run ilé ò ní dàrú o ọkàn rẹ̀ á balẹ̀ o.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Still Know Your Representative. I'm here with the lawmaker representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District and Chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele. Distinguished, you're welcome to the representative.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So let's begin this way. Growing up, what was growing up like? You grew up in Lagos, or you were born in Inyi, Ekiti?
Well, growing up for me was like any other typical situation. I grew up as an unassuming African boy, specifically an Ekiti boy. There was an exposure that, looking back, I wouldn't take for granted, and I believe it was part of what God used to prepare me for the years ahead.
I've read your interviews, I've heard you speak. You're always passionate about the development of your people. So tell us more. Why are you that passionate about your people?
Well, I am a product of my people. I am a part of my people. And I always believe that the essence of politics and political involvement is for us to be able to influence our societies generally and to be able to specifically also touch on the lives of our people and our communities and see the extent to which we can add value as much as possible in each and every one of these local governments. We have done some projects, by which people could feel my presence, They will range from helping to provide water, through both the solar borehole and the motorized borehole project that we are doing. We have done a total of 37 borehole projects across the various towns and local governments in Ekiti Central Senatorial District. We are also providing transformers to ensure that we're able to boost, electricity, the provision of energy, in the Senatorial District. We have done 17 500 kVA transformers in different parts of the Senatorial District. So we have organized a series of capacity building programs, both for the women, for the youth, and for the physically challenged.
Two major projects for you in your constituency, the library and the old people's home.
Yes.
What informed it?
For the public library, as you know, Ekiti State is largely deemed to be the fountain of knowledge and a cradle of education. For us, having a public library that will serve the purpose of, our students in various institutions, having a place to go outside of their campuses. And for the other project, the daycare center for the elderly, it's actually a novel idea. Instead of our elderly people just being left at home when their children go to work or go to the farm and their grandchildren go to school, let there be a daycare center where they can take the elderly people. And they'll be able to interact with their peers. They'll be able to also play some indoor games. We have a sidewalk and a field, you know, where they'll be able to take a walk and play around. We're also going to have some nurses and you know, visiting doctors. There's a sick bay, you know, and at least twice a week too, they can have medical screening, you know, which will make it possible for medical personnel to also keep an eye, you know, on their health situation. There'll be an ambulance on stand to be able to help, you know, move them to conventional hospitals if the need arises. Beyond providing this, I'm also speaking with some of our colleagues and other public-spirited people to also see how they can be part of the management and running of the place and part of the funding of the place. Because beyond just providing it, it has to be properly run. And I'm looking forward to a situation where such elderly people can be fed at least once a day, you know, some nutritious meal once a day, and in addition to the medical attention. And we also hope to have a core or crop of volunteers, you know, and in the volunteer corps, we'll have like medical doctors, nurses, you know, physiotherapists, caterers, and teachers, and different categories of people who are interested in elderly care issues and who will be able to also contribute to good cause in that regard. And we are not doing this in isolation from the state government. We are doing all of this in collaboration with the state government as a way of us trying to also complement what the state government is doing. As a matter of fact, the various projects that I took to Ekiti, at every point I had to call His Excellency the State Governor, Dr. Opeyemi, you know, to ask for allocation of land, you know, to be able to site such project. And they will not only allocate land, he will move the principal functionaries of government to work on this quickly and to also be there, you know, at any point that anybody might need support. Our primary role as lawmakers should be to make law. Make new laws, amend existing ones, review law, continue to ensure that we're able, you know, to provide legislative intervention that will help strengthen our democracy, you know, and then provide effective representation on the floor of the people of the Senate when issues arise, you know, to speak for our people, and then do our oversight. But outside of all of these three principal roles that were called or were elected to discharge responsibilities on.
But during campaign,
yes.
During campaign, distinguished, when you're campaigning, you promise them you do roads, you give them the basic amenities.
Okay.
So that's why they're always asking for these things.
Okay.
You don't just go there and tell them that I'm just going to do lawmaking, representation, and oversight.
Very good.
You have to break it down for them. In which way are you representing?
Very good.
Bringing oversight, at least you still have, from what you're doing, to attract development to your constituency.
Very good. Here's the point, you know, because our people also must understand this. You know, yes, we are doing this constituency project, but I emphasize that it is not our primary responsibility. The law is very clear on this. However, I don't see any lawmaker today that will not do everything within his powers to attract constituency projects. And there has been a lot of misunderstanding around the issue of constituency project. I am not a contractor. I don't give contract. I don't even know who the contractors are who come in to implement our constituency project. Except it's a constituency project that I'm funding with my own personal money. If it is one that I'm funding with government money, then I have no control over it, because all I'm trying to do is, when Mr. President comes to lay the budget before the National Assembly, and then, like every other lawmaker, I want to see what is coming to my own constituency, my own part of the country. I want to see what is being allocated, what part of the budget, you know. So in order to make sure that every nook and cranny of Nigeria benefits from the annual budget, government now came up with what they call the Zonal Intervention Project. The Zonal Intervention Project is such that there must be something in every constituency, and that is what is called constituency project. Now, for me, I felt my people need water to drink. So I insisted on some of these, solar and motorized boreholes to be installed, in my constituency. I felt some of our people are living in darkness because their transformers were not working. I insisted on transformers being brought. Now, if I'm bringing transformer to my constituency, I have no control over it because it is the Energy Commission, Nigeria Energy Commission, that will be in charge. That project will be domiciled in that agency. If I'm bringing borehole, it will be Ogun River Basin or Benin or Wena River Basin that will be in charge because that is where that project is domiciled. In other words, I have no control over. I'm not in a position to say this is the contractor that will do it.
Okay, distinguished. Apart from the zonal intervention project and the constituency project, is there no fund? Is there no allocation for each senatorial district? Then, okay, is it 20 billion or 10 billion allocated to each lawmaker?
To do what?
Give to their constituents to bring developments while waiting for the zonal intervention of the federal government. Most of them, they want to see cash. So I just wonder, is there no funds allocated to you personally, to the senatorial district?
Thank you so much. I'm glad you are asking this question. And it's for me to answer. It's not for me to dodge it. It's not for me to get angry over it. A lot of people say this, and sometimes it's good, even as a journalist, to play the devil's advocate, to be able to bring out issues, and answers to very germane questions. There is no such money. And please quote me. If you are going to do a road in your community, the best you can do is to get it into the budget under the Zonal Intervention Fund. But it's for the Ministry of Works, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, to determine who will implement that project as a contractor. There is no money that is given to any lawmaker to go and share in your constituencies. You just have to see whichever way you can help. Mind you, before we even contested to get into these positions, I want to believe that a lot of us had been doing whatever we could do to assist people in our communities. Nobody envisaged that we're going to have the pandemic situation last year. Most legislators spend almost the whole of that year sharing food.
You gave 10 million to your state.
Yes, I gave 10 million naira to my state, and that's a good example. My state called on eminent sons and daughters of Ekiti State to contribute to the COVID fund. If I were not even a sitting senator, I am sure I would have gotten such calls. Anyway, nobody gave me 10 million naira to go and donate to my state. There's no budget of the federal government that is providing for senators and House of Reps to go and give money to their constituents.
What do you put in to ensure that your people get this project, which is in the budget?
Vigilance is just what I will emphasize. Overall best interests, has to be the watchword. What you take from your constituency this year might not be the same thing that you take there next year, but it's just for you to ensure that at least at every point and every budget year, something goes to your constituency.
So distinguished, finally on this program, you talk to your people in your local dialects, tell them what's your plans for them, what you intend doing, and what you've been doing here, in Ekiti, not in Yoruba.
Ìṣeré o kété rami l'Ekiti, Ekiti kété mo kíyìn o, mo dẹ̀ kíyìn ní àrùn gbùngbùn Ekiti, káìpẹ́ ní Ekiti Central Senatorial District, mo kíyìn látàdó, mo kíyìn lérẹ́pọ̀dún Ìfẹ́lódùn, mo kíyìn l'Ekiti West, mo kíyìn ní Jero local government o. Èèyàn mi lẹ́fọn alààyè mo kíyìn Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè àtúbọ̀ wà pẹ̀lú kẹtẹ́rà o. Mo mọ̀ pé àdúrà kẹtẹ́rin ẹ gbà lé mi lórí lágbára Ọlọ́run kó bá di June àpọ́dún méjì kàti líbẹ̀ láàrin ọdún méjì oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ láti gbé ṣe. Ó kàn jẹ́ pé COVID-19 ó fa ìfàsẹ́yìn fún orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́dún tó kọjá. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ ìṣòro Nàìjíríà nìkan ọ̀rọ̀ kété àgbáyé ni. Bọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà àti ṣe kété nǹkan Ọlọ́run jáyé ṣe lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ àìṣe ìyàn káyé ṣe láti pípèsè omi ẹ̀rọ kan ń pè ní borehole kàti ṣe káàkiri local government káàkiri ìlú àti ìletò. Àtúnṣe transformer náà ká gbé káàkiri. Àìkọ́lé ilé àgbàlagbà ká kọ́ fún arúgbó níbi kan tí yà lọ kan yá nájú kan yá ṣeré kan mọ́dánù kan jókòó sílé. Àti kọ́ tún yìí tán lágbára Ọlọ́run láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà àtúbẹ̀rẹ̀ taramọ́kọ látó àbẹ̀ sí kọ́ ẹni. Library náà library ìgbàlódé kan tí kàwé fún ọmọra àti parí rẹ̀ ládó láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà náà a ṣí lágbára Ọlọ́run àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ni nǹkan a ṣe ó ti pọ̀ kọ́lọ́n dẹ́mira sí mo ti dúpẹ́ lọ́rin torí kí n bá mọ̀ dìbò kọ̀ mí àsìlìbẹ̀ àkábámọ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run Lédùmarè.
Ẹ ṣeun gan sir. So I've been speaking with the Chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on Your Representative.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And that's our program for today. Join me same time next week as I bring you another lawmaker who has impacted positively in the lives of his constituents at the grassroots level. For missed episodes, you can watch on our YouTube page, MARBAYS TV. Thanks for watching. I am Mariah Olashende. Bye for now.